All right, Robbie, you want to talk a bit more about attacks on Asians because of COVID. Is this truth, lies, or shenanigans?
I'm going to follow suit with Liz. This is truth and shenanigans. So, just last week in London, Ontario, which is located southwestern Ontario, a billboard outside of a popular local restaurant, the Ale House, which is known for having controversial messaging on its billboard, criticized Ontario Premier Doug Ford's measures to stop the spread of COVID-19. So on Thursday morning, the board read, Mr. Ford, history will show lockdowns cause more damage to the public than the China virus. Eee. So, as you can imagine, this prompted a really speedy response across all social media platforms with calls for the message to be removed immediately. One of the big proponents was the University of Western Ontario, which is a very technical institution. They put out the messaging hard, and within an hour or within a couple of hours, they had received over 2,000 signatures. By lunchtime, the restaurant had changed the sign to read, "We love Chinese people. We hate the genocide and China virus your commie government has inflicted on us." Finally, on Friday, there was a new sign that read, "Calling out an oppressive government is not racist, period. We have heart, respect for all people." So I checked out their website, and there's a statement from the owner, Alex Petro, saying that there's a statement to clarify concerns from the public regarding an alleged incident of racist behavior on his part towards the Asian community. I can 110% assure you that what has been alleged did not happen. So he claims that he's spoken to 4 different media outlets about this and to view their cameras so that the footage can be reviewed because he's saying that this is falsified. The establishment does have a history of putting up these inflammatory types of messages. And I guess this is really just a follow up from Johnny's story because this has no place in our society. Do you believe that the owner's disclaimer or apology it is sincere, genuine, or is he simply reeling from the backlash for a racist message? 2 racist messages actually in the same morning.
Yeah. I'll start if you want.
Yeah, please.
All right, so um, I'm going to play devil's advocate because I like to do that from time to time. So, uh, you know, there is there are some people who may not recognize that it is, especially if you hear it enough over and over again from maybe someone that you trust or you believe is a good person like Trump, and you hear it over and over again, and you don't recognize the racism in it. Um, there are people who may realize that after they've been told, and then feel like they want to apologize for it. It's quite possible that he recognized his mistake because there's no question it's racist. Um, but again, if Trump is saying it all the time, the China virus, and then justifying it, saying because it came from China, it's the China virus, right? Not
Mhm.
recognizing the actual inherent racism in it, um, then I could see a store owner putting that up and putting it on his sign and not realizing that. I'm looking at Lizzie's face, not realizing that it's racist, and so he made the change, and then he tried to switch it up a little bit the second time around. It's still wrong, obviously, and so I don't know. I'm not saying I totally accept his apology, but I'm willing to accept. I'll leave it at that. Okay,
Yeah.
Lizzie, you clearly have something to say. Wait, are you? I can't hear you, Lizzie.
Muted.
Oh no.
You're
Oh, Lizzie,
muted,
we can't
Liz.
hear you.
We can't hear you, Lizzie.
Can't hear you.
Bullshit. There we go. There we go. I was muted for a second because I was trying to collect my thoughts. An apology isn't defensive. When you are asked to apologize or show some type of contrition, you are really sorry. You're not, getting taking a defensive stance and coming back, with still having some subtle digs into referencing your previous statement.
It's hard for me to argue
Again,
against that, to be honest.
even in addition to that, I mean, the virus has an official name. It
Mhm.
has it's been given a scientific official name. So it takes a lot for you to deviate from that name and take it back to calling it the China virus. And when you say the China virus, you're not talking about the government. The government is not the one or the people that are being attacked in the streets, that are facing all of these, racist incidents. It's the people. And it's not even just people from China or Chinese Americans. It's anybody that they think looks Asian. So yes,
Mhm.
no, I don't buy that apology. Like people are smarter than what we are giving them credit for. If you were going out there and deliberately saying the China virus, then you probably have said some other derogatory things about Chinese people, about Asian people in the past. So yeah, no,
Johnny,
no.
get your
I'm
thoughts.
And
very
even if
interested to
you
hear
think
your
that,
thoughts because it's a follow-up from your story last time, Johnny. Very
yeah,
interested to hear your thoughts.
yeah. So I mean, of course it's inherently racist. I think that it's more ignorant. It shouts out like it's more ignorant
Yeah.
And that's
than
what I'm
anything.
saying.
Because yeah, and then especially I feel like with it was getting from bad to worse, of course, with the responses. But how did he even get to anti-Chinese rhetoric from like you said that there were like past political messages like wash your hands or wear a mask. I don't know how that's politics, but but like those kind of like messages, and then it went to this. So I was like, did
No,
somebody
like
get
he's
hired and fired, or
No, like he's used his billboard to just put politically charged messages out there, and that was part of his apology, saying that he's used this platform to attack their government or our Canadian government, attack other governments, just to post opinions, and that's fine and dandy. But I mean, you really have to be careful what you put out there, especially if this is
yeah,
your establishment, your bread and butter. And like I was saying, university or Western University out of London is, I mean, that's math, physics, engineering. It's computer science. It's a very technical school with a lot of international students, if you will.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I mean,
Also,
horrible
London
choice,
has a
horrible choice.
very diverse community. So you can't be doing stuff like that because your university
Yeah,
also,
populations are made up of international students. It's and these are
it'll
people with the
confuse the
disposable
population.
income that want to go to restaurants and support these establishments. I honestly think that he wasn't expecting that backlash because he's done it so brazenly over the years, and people just kind of go, that's funny, that's insightful, or he's just pissing people off. But at least it gets people talking. But I think that he put out the wrong message and then he doubled down on the wrong message, and that's where
On
I
the wrong
really have a
message.
problem
Yeah,
with it because if you're being
yeah,
called out, at least have enough self-awareness to go, maybe I am out to lunch on this one.
and,
Totally.
and,
yeah.
and apologize. Give a good, genuine apology. But also, if you were going to be that brazen
Right.
and that bold to put up a marquee like that, at least use correct grammar. It's
From the professor,
THAN. Okay, use the right form of then and than.
the
If
English
you're gonna be
professor.
that bold, if you're gonna be that bold,
All right, let's get
But
to
the
the
set
comments online. Go ahead,
the
Robbie.
set award only comes with so many E's. You have to use the A.
Maybe,
That's
maybe.
true.
All right, so we got a few comments online. So people weren't feeling my devil's advocate argument. Liana Jones says, nope, not no. Mike Winter says, you finna get dragged by Liz. Uh, oh, yeah. Oh, looks like Ruben is gasping at the profanity on this show.
Ruben knows
The
me.
profanity.
Jose said she had the same look on her face as Lizzie when I was talking. So
See,
Daria
that's
Winter
it.
says ignorance cannot be the excuse for slips of the tongue used to hide the overt racism that is demonstrated through the words selected to convey attitude. Mike Winter said, when you want to be a racist store owner, you have the right to do that, at least here in the U.S. Then you have to deal with whatever consequences. If it is hate speech, you have no right to hate speech. Sorry. And Sherry Blaine Priest says, I agree with Robbie Rock 100%. Sylvie Devia?
Devio.
Devio. What about the variants,
That'd be-
UK and African? What are the proper names? I'm just asking.
And I mean, do we
Oh,
really want
I'm sure that they have a designation, a number letter designation, but I don't know their proper names.
COVID-19-123 or something.
Yeah.
Well, and do we really want to start getting into, calling countries out for the disease and, imperialism that they bring to
I
other
know.
countries? Like, do we really want to go there?
Yeah.
Because we can.
Yeah, that's
Because if we really want to call out countries, we should call out the one that spread it. That's spreading it like wildfire, which is the U.S. So if we really want to talk about countries, the ones that spread the hell out of it is the U.S.
Let's start calling it the Trump virus. The Trump virus. That's what.
Yeah, that's what we should be calling it.
Trump virus.
I mean, sure, it may have originated in China, but we know who spread the hell out of it. So anyway, all right, we got to get on to our next hot topic.
Truth.